Hey, welcome to my channel. I'm Shelly, and this is Crafty Fox Lifestyle. And today I want to talk about retirement. Yeah, retirement. It's a touchy subject for me. I don't have retirement. I don't have any retirement. I have spent my entire life working odd jobs just to survive, and none of those ever carried um, any real retirement. Um, Started out by working my working life very young. Grew up on a farm, and they taught me how to work. I learned my work ethic from working on the farm. I'll never forget my uncle um, teaching me how to take care of the animals and things like that, and instilling it into me that they relied on me, and I needed to be there to take care of them. Anyway, so on the farm we didn't have any retirement. I grew up. I was a teenager when I started working there. I grew up and got married and stayed here on the farm. It was what I loved. It was the life that I loved. I didn't really want to do anything else, to be honest with you. I liked the freedom. I liked the country. I didn't want to do anything else. But the truth of the matter is, it was family owned, and there's no such thing as retirement. Now, they did pay Social Security in on me, so I've had Social Security paid in on me. I did take other odd jobs because what I did was I milked cows. When I first started out, we had a herd of like 300, and it did go down a little bit over the years. But so I stayed and I worked and I milked the cows until the last day, until the day they sold them. And they sold them, it was 2013 or 2014. I can't remember. Excuse me. Sorry about that. This is real. I'm keeping it real here. I don't do a lot of editing, if any. Um, I just making sure I'm taking the video. I just, I'm honest. I'm raw. Here we are. I think people like that. Anyway, so in about 2013 or 2014, can't remember the exact day, we sold the cows. They got on the trailer, and I had milked them. I don't know how old I was. I was in my 40s, late 40s, when we finally quit. And I had always said I wanted to quit milking when I was 50, but that really wasn't the way I wanted to do it. It had been my entire life. It had been my entire life. I had worked here, and my whole life was centered around this farm and the cows. And when they were gone, I was lost. I felt like I had been cut loose in the I don't know. Anyway, so while I was milking the cows, it was morning and night. If you know anything about cows, they got milked early in the morning and then later in the afternoon, twice a day. And in the middle of the day, now I didn't get paid a lot. Um, During this time, they provided me with a house and my electric, which is part of my pay. So I didn't get a lot of cash money. So in order to make more money, I would go out and I got odd jobs. And what I had done originally was I started working in school cafeterias in food service. So I would get a job that was a couple hours a day. Of course, it didn't have any retirement because you had to work so many hours a day in order to get retirement. But I would go in at, let's say, 10 o'clock and work till 2. And then I could milk the cows in the morning, do food service in the middle of the day, and then work in the afternoon. So I did that and different other things as the years went on just to pick up extra money. Now they paid social tongue tied. They paid Social Security in on me, but there was no such thing as retirement. So I feel like, you know, I don't know. I don't know what I feel like, to be quite honest with you. I'm sitting here staring down 60 and thinking, I need to figure this out somehow. And then, honestly, after the cows were sold, I was lost. Um, wasn't sure what I was going to do. I literally spent 6 months in bed. Um, it was a joke. My husband thought it was a joke. I mean, not, he wasn't being mean. He would joke about, you know, I'm glad you got out of bed before I got home from work. It was that bad. It was that bad. But I would stay up late and then I would sleep all day, because I had nothing to do. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know who I was anymore. I felt like my identity had been stripped from me. And I'm sure that a lot of you have felt that way. Maybe you've been let go from a job. Maybe you've been fired, or maybe you've been laid off and never called back. And you just felt lost. You felt like somebody had, I'm sorry, my nose is itching. You've been let loose in a sea, and not knowing where you're going, just tossing around. So a friend of mine stopped by one day and she said, listen, I drive a school bus. It's kind of like milking cows. It's in the morning, it's in the afternoon. Maybe you can do that until you can figure things out. So I did. I drove a school bus for a couple of years. And while I was driving the school bus, I decided this is not something that I wanted to do until no, I just didn't want to do it for various reasons. As I said in an earlier video, your tolerance as you get older goes down. Um, some people, it doesn't, I guess. I mean, some people don't mind it, but I couldn't take the noise and the kids' attitudes, and then the parents' attitudes were just horrible. But anyway, so you had some parents that were great. I'm not going to lie. But anyway, so while I was doing this, I'm like, I got to figure out a way out of this. I still got to work, but I can't. I just can't. So I happened to be looking through our local college. We have a college that's 15 minutes down the road from us. I happened to be looking through their continuing education book, and there was a dog grooming course in there. So I ended up taking the dog grooming course, and I started a business. I started my dog grooming business. Now, as an entrepreneur, you don't have retirement either. So there's that. Um, it's great. I enjoyed being an entrepreneur. I enjoyed building that business, watching it grow. The money was good. I'd never made that kind of money before in my life, I'll be quite honest with you. The work was hard, but I grew up working hard and I was okay with that. So I'm still doing it, but things have slacked off. I think the economy, well, I'm pretty sure the economy is what is affecting it, if you want the honest truth. But anyway, at one point I had like 3 employees. I was really working and building the business. I was proud of what I'd done. Everything was good, but I never put anything back for retirement. Now I did pay in on myself. There's a self-employment tax that you do pay in, and that's your Social Security. So I did pay in on that. So did I make some mistakes? Yeah, I made some mistakes. I should have started some kind of a retirement plan for myself. But this is only my, uh, see, I started in 2015 and this is 2026. So next year will be 12 years. So, really, it was only a few years. It's not like I'd been doing it a lifetime, but I should have done some preparing that I didn't do. Then, so here I am, as I'm sure there are many of you out there in the same boat, wondering what's going to happen next. What's going to happen next? I started a YouTube channel, Crafty Fox Creations, as you see back here by Shelly, and it has been monetized. Now it's doing okay. I'm not making enough money to do much with. A couple $100 a month. It does help in a pinch, but it's nothing that I'm going to be able to retire on. And I find it funny, you see a lot of these YouTube channels out there saying, yep, YouTube is it, YouTube is it. Monetize, you can retire on this. I'm still trying to figure that part out because I don't know. I really don't. I'd like to say that I'm going to be able to do that, but I don't know. Because actually, the dog grooming, again, is very physical. Standing on your feet all day long is hard. The building that I work out of has a concrete floor. I do have rubber mats in there which help, but there's a lot to it, a lot to it. And I am looking to looking to eventually segue out of dog grooming into something else, and I am currently looking for that something else because the truth of the matter is I can't retire. I cannot retire. I do not have money that's going to be coming in, and except for Social Security, which is not going to be a whole lot. And my husband, he works, he has Social Security, and but he never had any real retirement either. He did HVAC, worked in construction and different things, and he didn't have a retirement until the last few years. He's worked at our local board of education, and he'll have a retirement there, but he has to stay there for 11 years, 10 years, 11 years, something like that. And he'll be 65. So that'll be a little bit of something. It won't be a lot, but that combined with social again, tongue tied. That combined with social security plus mine, maybe, maybe, I don't know. I really don't know. Retirement is tough. I do know that, Social Security was never meant to be your something that you fully rely on. I get that, but a lot of us out there are going to have to. It's going to be tough. What are your answers? Do you guys have any suggestions on, what you're going to do, what you're looking to do? Um, there's nothing in this life that's easy, and I don't guess retirement's going to be one of them. Give me your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Um, like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for being here, guys.